Hi, YouTube family. Welcome to PeaceOfRen, where we drop gems and we speak for them. This would be episode 2 of my video journal, digital journal video entry, whatever we want to call it. It could seem like we're skipping a few episodes to get to today's clip, but this is just a moment that felt more alive for me. I don't want to say urgent, but something that felt more alive within me that I really wanted to share. And as usual, it's because it has to do with the topic of love. So I've been grieving, and that's not something new here on this channel. I grieve a lot, but it's because I shed a lot. I have a lot of ego deaths. Like I separate from a lot of parts of myself, okay? And since we've really been getting deeper to the core and the truth of our most authentic self, the highest version of ourself, the truest version of ourself, I've been finding a lot of grief over who I used to be and the life that I used to live and who I had to be in order to survive. Because, making the transition away from survival to actually living is actually really hard, and nobody talks about that. And so a theme that's been coming up for me over the last year has been love. Self-love, loving others, loving people, places, and things. And I've just been really passionate lately. I feel like we go through a lot of different awakenings, but right now it feels like I'm in the midst of a romantic awakening. And yes, love like romantic partners, but like romanticizing life in general. And I recognize that this could seem a little woo-woo for a lot of people. Y'all know I love to say that I think others think I live in my own world, but I do. Because my world is full of love, and it just seems to be a lot more fun than, what everybody else has going on in the world. Misery really loves company, and I would rather not be company in your misery. But something that has really been on my mind lately, and it's been kind of triggering me, is the way that people talk about those who believe in love. I think that we feel when we deal with love, there's a lot of situations that make us jaded, but it's not love. It's people's lack of capacity. It's people not being able to utilize love and hold love in the frequency that it is. It's people mishandling love. So when, people are like, F love, or I don't want anything to do with love, that's not true. You don't want the pain. You don't want the hurt. You don't want the trauma. And something I've just been seeing a lot, and I think I said this in one of my last videos actually, but I just see a lot of people like talking down on love and romance and things like that. And it really breaks my heart, and it actually really upsets me. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't believe in that perfect fairy tale love. And a fairy tale and whatever that means to you. It doesn't necessarily have to look like Disney. Some of us think that it looks like an anime kind of love, But it's just really been upsetting me. And I see a lot of people moving away from romantic love and wanting romantic offers and partners and things like that. And yes, it is important to love our friends and family and everyone else that is not a romantic partner, and even self-love. But I feel like a lot of the times people use self-love as a cop-out, because how much self-love do I have to cultivate before I'm allowed to want somebody else to come in and add to and share this love with, And I feel like a lot of the times when we talk about self-love, we frame that as if it's a form of love or like protecting ourselves, but really it's like we're guarding ourselves, because everything is, oh, self-love this, self-love that. I don't need friends, family, partner, whatever, because I love myself. But at the end of the day, we're humans and we're wired for connection. And I feel like a lot of people forget that. I also feel like that ends up turning, we are, what's that word that people like to use? Decentralizing, like women have been using a lot, decentering men from our lives, right? I feel like people are decentering men, but I feel like they're actually decentering love from their lives in that sense. And whatever, your preference is, y'all get the point of what I'm saying though. I feel like it's really decentering love. And it's like, so now we are scrutinizing romantic love, and we are really amping up, friendship, like platonic love and familial love. But we get hurt in those spaces too, because family can betray and hurt us, and so can our friends. So the same kind of betrayals and losses and disloyalty that we experience when we deal with romantic partners is the same thing when it comes to friends and family. And that's when you have to recognize that it's not a love issue. It is the people who weaponize love. And again, the people who don't have the capacity to hold love in its frequency and be able to receive and give love as it's supposed to be. And so I've really just been grieving, and I had a lot of things that I was going to do during this time, and I just couldn't push forward because my heart was just hurting. And so I was just really laying down to like check in with my body and kind of see what was going on. And my mind, I'm always overthinking. My mind is like, girl, we don't want nothing to do with this. I don't want to think about it. My heart is like, I love love. I'm in love. I just want to be in love. I'm open to love. I'm open to receiving love. I want to give love. But my sacral chakra is what really spoke to me today, my womb space. And she was just screaming like, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. And I'm just like, what? How are you scared? Like, you're always the one talking about freedom and expression. And so it kind of scared me. And I kept thinking like, am I really feeling that? Am I hearing that from my womb space? Because girl, you're all about being young, wild, and free. So what do you mean you're afraid? And I was like, are you sure it's not my heart? And I kept checking, and my heart is like, no, I'm in love. I'm sure. I love love. I want to give love. I want to receive love. And my womb space is like, I'm scared. And I'm like, what is this? And my womb space, I feel like, because it holds memory. And so, of course, there are my own wounds, but it also can hold like ancestral wounds. But for me, it just felt like those past experiences I had where others weren't able to receive my love, or others weren't able to hold me in love, and I wasn't able to give love fully or show up fully. I've really been having a lot of themes come up around visibility. So around being seen, really shining my light, but also with expression and like expressing my voice and stuff. And how I said in episode 1, I'm getting back to creating for the sake of creating. So it's like getting back to the point of living for the sake of living instead of surviving and feeling like others have to gain from my experience. I'm living for me instead of surviving and trying to give to others when I'm barely getting by. And so it's like, as I'm grieving, the reason that I feel scared is because, like, everything that I ever thought was possible in the world, others made it seem like it wasn't. Like, you can't have the perfect love or that fairy tale love or, romance, or the way that I romanticize my life. Like, that's not a real thing, again, living in my own little world. Like, it's a fantasy, a little bubble thing, but it's like, anything that we can imagine and we can see in our mind's eye, why can't it come to fruition? If your brain can literally interpret or process or create an image of it, then I believe that means that it's possible for it to come true, because otherwise that wouldn't be on your mind or in your heart. And so I was just really crying and just trying to get these feelings and emotions out. And I really had to tell myself, like, it's okay. I know that we're scared, but If you want to love, then love. You always say you want to be free. If you want to express, then express. It's okay if you're afraid. I understand your past experiences, and that is valid. But I'm not going to let you get hurt again. We have the discernment and the wisdom to not get ourselves in those situations, you know? And it's just like, I accept you. When I really sit with myself, I realize that I could seem very strange or weird to people when I am really being my whole full self. That is what I'm coming to terms with. And I'm okay with it. I love all my quirks and things, but those are things that I suppress. So I really just had to have this moment with self. And after I sat down and I cried it out and I talked with my body and everything, I realized why I was feeling afraid. And at the end of the day, you know, if others don't accept us as we are, then we just have to be okay with that. But I'm okay with who I am, and I love who I am, and I love that I want to love, and I love my big heart, and I love my big emotions, and I'm not a liability. My emotions are my strength. And I believe that if love wasn't as big a deal as it is, then why would God even allow it to be framed the way that it is? If God created man to be with woman and the man leaves his parents to go off with his wife or whatever the Bible says, then why do we continue to downplay or downsize romantic love like it's not a big deal? By all means, everybody doesn't have to want that, and that's okay. But I think we need to stop demonizing or making fun of the people that do, because these desires that we have in our hearts and on our mind are not something that's impossible. Otherwise, it wouldn't be something within our field. So the next time, you know, you want to talk about those that are in love with love, I think you should take a look in the mirror, because our friends can hurt us, our family members can hurt us, just as romantic partners can. And I'm so tired of people acting like romance is a bad thing. I finally made it to a space where I can admit out loud to myself that I want to love and to be loved and for my love to be received, and I'm happy with that.